Sustainability Day continues with Massimo Battaini, Prysmian Chief Operating Officer. Welcome, Massimo.
Thank you, Andrea.
Now, we discussed and we just heard from Valerio Battista and also from Francesco Strace the importance of the future of the grid but tell me, what's your sense of what sustainability is for Prysmian?
First of all, I would like to express an important transformation that is happening in the market. Now, this energy transition, the decarbonization of the grid is definitely pushing the customer and us to invest much more money in the infrastructure, in the grid infrastructure for the energy transition and also for the digital transformation. This is why is this? Because of the generation of renewable energy is far from the consumer, because the generation of renewable energy is not constant as it was a power plant fed with gas. So a stronger investment in grid hardening and reinforcement of the grid is needed to support this. Also because of the additional electrification needs. So the smart building, heat pumps at our houses, solar panel on the roof, all this additional demand of electricity is requiring a significant investment in the grid and in digital transformation. And we want to be a serious player. We want to be the enabler of this transformation. In order to be an enabler of this transformation, we had to invest. We had to invest in innovation, new cables, new power, additional power, greater depth of installation, longer distances, and invest in capacity, because this additional demand of cable in infrastructure is requiring that we follow it with significant investment. As a matter of fact, we have more than 700 million euros worth of investment deployed across our sites worldwide in the next 3 years to support this transition. But also, in order to be a credible player in the energy transition, it's key to know that we have to be a sustainable leader ourselves. So we need to prove with the real facts that we believe in what we're doing in this energy journey. And our approach to sustainability is really multifaceted, comprehensive, very much articulated. There is customer in the center of this sustainability program for us, because customer needs us in order to decarbonize the cables that they install and live and produce and transmit energy over the 50, 40 years lifetime. We also have to focus on employees and local communities. Employees, because the diversity, inclusion, and input from different cultures is key to get all the best from the different conditions. I'm happy to report that I've been leading the integration of general cable in North America with Prysmian, and it was very effective. It was very key to integrate and blend the two cultures in order to get the best of the two legacy companies. So the diversity is a real value to exploit as much as we can our capabilities. We need to provide value to suppliers by buying more sustainable products, and as I said before, we need to innovate. All these create more value for our shareholders. We can create a company with more distinctive capabilities, more potential to follow the market growth. So this is what sustainability is about in Prysmian, and this is what we are going to pursue over the next 10 years in order to make this company, well, a real leader in sustainability. All these values, by the way, are well embedded already in our daily operations and in the culture of the company. In order to pursue the sustainability targets, we have 4 drivers to follow: environmental responsibility, the social ambition, safety, and innovation. Climate change, so environmental targets. What is Scope 1 and 2 and Scope 3 about? Scope 1 and 2 is about the emission of our footprint, and we are working on it in order to reduce it. Scope 3 is about the emission of our cables, which are laid in the ground and generate, unfortunately, losses and CO2 emission over the life cycle. We submitted our commitment to reduce these emissions, and we didn't choose the easy way. No, we decided to go for the fastest possible reduction of Scope 1 and 2 emissions, so the emission of our footprint. you recognize from the chart that we are heading for a net zero target by 2035, while all other industries are targeting the 2050 milestone as the net zero targets. We decided to be much more aggressive, also because we operate in the energy transmission field. We wanted to be credible in this respect. 100 million investment plus are going to be deployed over the next years to support this transition. This transition in CO2 emission reduction is achieved through internal actions. The SF6 is a gas that we use in the high voltage space to test cables, which will be completely eliminated in the next 3 years. And also in our footprint, we are replacing electricity consumption and the gas generation and gas consumption with greener ways to run the factories. And the grid decarbonization will perform the rest to achieve our net zero target in scope 1 and 2. So we have 1 million tons of CO2 emitted every year by our footprint, which is bound to go down to zero by 2035. There is also, and we are faring particularly well in this regard, we are ahead of the trends, the trajectory to achieve a 46% reduction by 2030. We are faring very well, and we will probably achieve the net zero earlier than 2025. But there is a second element, the scope 3 emission, even more important, because as you see from the chart, the scope 1 and 2 accounts for 1 million tons of CO2, while our cables operated by customer in operations generates over the life cycle 300 million. And while the raw material that we buy to produce our cables from our suppliers generate 7 million tons of CO2 every year that we source this raw material. So there is a disproportion between our footprint CO2 emission and the generation of CO2 during the life cycle of cables. And customers are desperate for and keep asking us to provide them with cleaner solutions, so eco cable or cables which are able to generate lower losses. So the power that you put on the one end of the cable is the same that you find at the other end, so no losses at all. So that is the way to reduce the scope 3 at customers. And also, an important stream of activity that we recently launched and actually emphasized with additional efforts is the recyclability of our products. So we are selling products which are fully recycled. We are using our waste and recovering it inside our process when this is possible. Otherwise, the waste is recycled in other industries, like the plastic waste, scrap of our products. Our process is utilized for drums, for bombs, for plastic drums, which, by the way, we buy and use for delivering and dispatching cable to our customers. On the other front, the social ambition, we have an intensive program. We are committed to hiring additional STEM women in our white-collar space, 100 more only in 2022, 500 more by 2030. In the hiring process, so the replacement or the addition of people, we want to target a 50% hiring of women. We are moving from a 39% as of today to 50% by 2030. And also the poor performance in women in management level, in the senior level, is going to increase to 30% by 2030. There is also the annoying point of the pay gap between genders, which we are tackling and addressing as we speak. And then we launched the Sustainability Academy to make these sustainability initiatives well known across all people, because we believe that we cannot just run sustainability action from the top. We need to have a widespread contribution coming from all regions, from all countries, from all offices, and from each individual employee. Additional initiative to address the workforce, to make them participate more to the target, to the life of the company, is to offer shares as in lieu of cash payment for the productive bonus, for the efficiency bonus they are entitled to every year. So to enlarge the scale of the population which participate to the share of the company. Local community is also an important initiative that we launched in different regions to engage with local schools, to engage with underprivileged people, to help them support their children in the development, in the professional life. Safety is the third pillar, is the third driver of our sustainability journey. Unfortunately, it's a very painful point. Last year, we suffered from a couple of fatalities, really bad news. I'm still amazed to see that we are very good at performing, monitoring cost efficiency, KPIs. We are renowned, well renowned in the whole industry as the most efficient and effective player to manage cash flow, to manage cost, to manage all these metrics. When it comes to safety, we suffer. We are not able somehow to engage all people, ensure that everybody behaves in a way that risks are not taken and rules are followed. We also decided to increase the amount of money that we inject in this area to make our equipment safer from a risk assessment point of view. But I think it's not about money the point here, the matter. We have really to change the mindset. The tone has to be set from the top, of course, but the mindset of each individual operator at the shop floor has to be changed. Rules are in place. We are not completely probably training all individuals to ensure that they follow the rule, and certainly are not very good at ensuring that rules are enforced so that no one tries to find shortcuts when they operate our equipment. Our journey initiated 1.5 years ago, I would say, and I'm not embarrassed to say I was pretty new to all of this 1.5 years ago. I didn't know anything. I was coming from North America, I was doing something else, and I had to study, I had to learn, and by studying and learning all these initiatives and taking real commitment in setting targets, we have raised the level of awareness across the organization. We aligned the organization, the sustainability committees, all the rest of the functions to these targets, and we've taken serious actions and taken serious commitment. And we start seeing the dividends, that these actions are paid dividends. So to conclude, I think I said already before, no, we want to be the leader of the energy transition, the digital transformation, and to be credible as a leader in the energy transition and transformation, we need to be a leader in sustainability. So this is our commitment, but we don't pursue or commit to sustainability for the sake of it. It is, on the one hand, we have a significant, we feel a significant passion about the future of our generation. On the other hand, there are additional business opportunities that we can capture thanks to the sustainability. We see, I mentioned before, the engagement with customers, the engagement with suppliers. We see many businesses unfolding to us, many new channels, stream of activity unfolding to us thanks to sustainability programs that we have. So I hope we've been able to give you a good insight of what we are doing in Prysmian about sustainability, and I believe the journey started 1.5 years ago. We already seen effect, and we are all. I think we want to say that. I want to say that we all take pride in working in a company which is able to influence the world in terms of making the world greener and more sustainable.
Well, Massimo Battagni, thank you so much for such a comprehensive overview on your idea and practices of sustainability. Just a quick one before we let you go, because you mentioned also customers. Now, we heard from Gilles Guibou how investors are expecting more and more from companies like you, but how about the dialogue with customers? Do you think that you are ahead of your customers? You have a very accelerated plans of decarbonization, for example. Is the market ready also to pay a price for more sustainable products?
I think the situation is well differentiated. There are customers not ready at all to pay a premium price. A customer not even worrying about committing themselves against sustainability target. On the other hand, especially in the energy high voltage space, so submarine cables, projects for interconnectors, wind farms, offshore wind farms, so on, customers are setting targets for sustainability for us to win a tender or to lose it. So it's becoming a standard, a must for some customer, that if you want to apply, if you want to bid for a tender, if you want to win a business, you need to be compliant to certain standards. And also we see customers willing to recognize more volume, for sure, to us, if you can offer products with sustainability components, and eventually a premium price.
All right, great. Thanks also for this.
Thank you.
Massimo Battaini, thank you.
Thank you.